So welcome back, guys. Today we're gonna talk about how I think rank system should be changed to make it more interesting overall. In season 4 we got some changes. We got a small rank reset that like applied for 14 days. After that most people are kinda the same rank that they were before, so it didn't really change much. And even though it's hard to contain the last rank, the other ranks are not different than they were before, and there need to be some things done to make it more interesting in the long run. While we're doing so, I'm just gonna try to learn how to deal with overranks jabs into Flamingo mix-up on block, which is not that interesting. That's why I will not talk about what I'm doing actually. So, first thing that I think should happen is if you are at Tekken God Omega, you should be deranked if you don't play for a certain period of time. Like, for instance, after every 7 days, in my opinion, you should be deranked 1 rank if you're not playing ranked at all. I'm not entirely sure if that says that if you don't play your character or if you're not playing ranked at all, but I think it should be if you're not playing ranked at all would be more interesting. So after 7 days, if you're not playing, you should lose 1 rank. For instance, if you're Tekken God Omega, then you go to Prime, then you go to True Tekken God, and then after a certain while, I think at Tekken King it should stop because that would be too much. But just to make it more interesting overall. And a lot of people suggested that, and I think 7 days is a very, very good way or a good thing to implement this. The next thing is I would limit the amount of Tekken God Omegas per region. So what do I mean by that? I would say, for instance, either you could say that in Europe there are only 50 to 100 people able to obtain this rank. So if someone is Tekken God Prime, then this should kind of like... Sorry, this kind of discouraged me when I got the notification. But what I mean is, for instance, if there are only 50 Tekken God Omegas and there is a Tekken God Prime over half of his rank, so he's neutral, then in my opinion it should be like that he can only fight Tekken God Omegas. I know this will be kind of nerve-wracking, but if you implement it together with people getting deranked, there will be more people playing at high ranks, so it's not that you're not gonna find opponents all the time. Could be an issue, you have to figure that one out. But if it's so, then you cannot sit on Tekken God Omega anymore, and having that really sets your status. Like, this is really something that not everyone have, and it will make you special again, which I think should be the goal that they're aiming for with this new rank, right? With the shiny new rank. And in my opinion, you can either make it per country. So let's say in Germany there are 10 people allowed to have that rank. Or you can make it per character. So let's say that in every region like 2 to 3 people are allowed for this character. That they can figure that out. There are a lot of different things that you can do here. But I think like 50 for Europe, for instance, sounds kind of good, right? In my opinion, at least. Please let me know what you think about it. The next one is that's a really big one for me actually, and I know it's very hard to obtain, but I would force people to play like after Emperor or Tekken King. I would force people to play first F2, so like they can't leave. They have to commit to sets. I know that if you like have to go immediately, of course that is kind of shitty, right? And you will take a loss, you will not take the full hit, like you're not gonna lose 1,900 points, but let's say you lose 900 and the other guy gains 900 if you quit after 1 match. Why is that important? Because now it's almost impossible, except for top players, to find someone who stays after, let's say, 2 losses. Maybe even 1 losses. 1 and dones are the meta right now, and that is very, very annoying for people that play an unpopular character like me. I play Yoshimitsu or Feng, and people just don't like playing them because they never took the time to learn them. So what happens is that I actually never find someone, except he's like a little bit into Tekken and wants to learn some matchups. People always quit on me, which is super annoying, really, really annoying. And I would make it so that until you're at the highest rank or at true Tekken God, you can only like first of twos. That's okay. But after that, I would even make it first of three. Make it to the point where the player who lost loses the 9,000 points. Because then the game will be more interesting to watch for the viewers. And what is even more interesting is a deathmatch will have a lot of depth to it. So a lot of people are playing a very cheesy certain way that will work against the majority of the player base, even at higher ranks, in the first game. So if you're someone who mashes jabs 1-2 all the time, so no one can Y-running 3 you, and this all of a sudden in this game even tracks, in the first game, this will most likely grant you a close game or even a win, because the opponent, depending on his download speed, needs some time to adapt. But in a long set, you will die for this. And this is a strategy that's even in a short set very easy to counteract, right? So if it's always the first of two or a first of three, it's very likely that you can adapt to certain strategies that are now very popular, but after this patch they won't anymore. And this is like one of my biggest things. I know there come some issues with it. For instance, like if you have to go, like I said, something's happening, you have to open the door. But most people are actually very respectful in high ranks on PC, I have to say, in the regard that they let you go for a couple of seconds. Maybe that's why, because some people know each other, but that's what I saw. And that's something that I really, really wished that that it would be possible, so people can enjoy more death matches and enjoy the heat. When you lose 9,000 points or 5,000 points, you're actually pretty heated, so it will be interesting, way more interesting. And all these people that are farming points from safe scummers and one and done like 20 times until they finally found someone that is weak, won't obtain a rank that they just don't deserve. The next thing is, I talked about deranking, but one thing in addition to that, if a win, like for instance, if you are on the scoreboard, the leaderboard, there is a win count that you obtained to gain this rank. Like say, for me it was 220 with Anna and I was on True Tekken God, right? And it stays there. And I would implement a system where if you're not farming like 2 wins after 1 or 2 weeks with this character, you get deranked. Like if you played but you didn't, how to say it, it would be good to kind of get around cheating. Because someone that is safe scumming most likely gonna have the same wins that he had before. But if he has to obtain a certain amount of wins to stay at this rank and he's just not good, so he doesn't get it, that is, or maybe make it that they have to obtain some kind of points. Points would be better because of course you can just search without limitation to your rank and then farm 10 wins against a third down. So there should be a way that they have to get some points so safe scumming gets more difficult. And now we go to the last thing. And this one is kind of, how to say it, the opinions I shared right now are not very controversial. I think most people will agree, but this one is. I think they implemented your top stats and your Tekken powers or something. And I would make it that based on the Tekken powers, the points that you get is influenced. So if I fight, for instance, I have 500,000, I think. And if someone fights me with 280,000 powers on the same rank, I think either I should lose a bit more or he should gain a bit more points. Because it seems like that I'm a more experienced player all around. And I think he should get rewarded for beating me, even if that's his main and my sub character. And that comes combined with one thing. I think that Tekken is a game that you can enjoy in many ways, right? But there is just, in my opinion, you don't have to share it. You can play however you want. I played for 3 years like a completely idiot, and that's not a big deal. But I think Tekken should reward you for playing it the right way. So if your top stats are aggression, rage art usage, what is else, and tenacity, you should get like 200 points less, for instance. I know that sounds crazy, and I know if you're whole wrong, it's very likely that you're gonna have aggression at A+ or S. But I think Tekken should give you like a small amount of points more for just playing it defensively, for using skills like sidestepping, agility, punishing proficiency, throw breaking. If they would reward you by points for utilizing tools that revolve around those stats, then people would actually care more about those stats and would learn how to gain those point advantages and in fact learn how to defend more. And that's a very small thing that could add up over time and could not force people, but just motivate them to play a different way. So that was my thoughts. I know the last one is pretty strange, and you can leave your thoughts about that in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and please leave the feedback what you think should be done about the rank system, because how it is right now, it is just very boring for people to see, and I hope that will change. So see you in the next one. Goodbye.